watched them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of
Good morning. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And here's Andrew with the announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 15th, and it's a green day. Sophomores, you're awesome. Also, a reminder that we have a class meeting in Fuller tomorrow morning during advisory time. Arrive by 7:55 at the latest and sit by advisory at the front of Fuller. Attention seniors, the 2025 Senior Prom Committee meets in Fuller Basement on today at 2:45. All seniors are welcome to join. See the class canvas page for more information. Hey little leprechauns, reminder that Ireland trip applications are due to Miss Smith by the end of the day Thursday. For those of you interested in the 2026 Ghana trip, please make sure you get your applications by May 16th. Spots are limited. If you haven't gotten an application, see Mrs. Keach in Streeter 263 or email her for additional information. It's here. Come celebrate the annual publication of the Clear River Review and check out the newest edition at the Library Fireside at 7 p.m. tonight. Writers and artists will share their work and we'll enjoy some refreshments together. Copies of the reviews will be for sale. All are welcome. Student Diversity Council will begin planning the Culture Fest on Spring Day, tomorrow, April 16th at 2:45 in Ranger 210. If you are interested in hosting a table, please show up. Happy birthday today to Gavin Bouchard and Peyton Lapitte. Happy birthday. Today in sports, we have varsity baseball and softball, home versus Rutland at 4 and 4:30. Please release the teams at 2:30. JV baseball and softball at Rutland at 4 and 4:30. Please release the teams at 12:30. Varsity and JV boys lacrosse, home versus Harwood at 4:30 and 6. And varsity girls lacrosse at Harwood at 4:30. Please release the teams at 1:15. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Andrew. I have a few late announcements for us. On Saturday, the track teams hosted their first outdoor meet of the season. Emmett Johnson won the 800, Will Carter won the 300 hurdles, Wilder Thomas won the 110 hurdles, Jeremiah Watson won the shot put, and the winning team on the 4x400 relay included Tatum Steen, Brian Stalker, Juan Solana, and Emmett Johnson. The 4x800 meter team also won, which included Emmett Johnson, Isaac Lenzini, James Hatch, and Andrew Thornton Sherman. On the girls' side, Lola Ide won the 200 meter, Sydney Schoenbeck won the 100 meter hurdles, the high jump, and the long jump. The 4x100 meter team also won and included Avon Thomas, Ailey Stratton, Ellie Reed, and Lola Ide. The 4x800 team, what do you think they did? They also won and included Riley Strom, Ellie Reed, Willa Kantrowitz, and Eilish Murphy. Both teams defeated the 7 other teams in attendance. Oh my gosh, track, nice job. Nice work. Daisy. Ninth grader Amelie Pratt recently competed with 15 and 16-year-old athletes from countries all over the world at the Liatoppen Biathlon Festival in Norway. Biathlon combines Nordic cross-country skiing and precision rifle shooting. After 3 days of ski training and shooting practice, Amelie raced in the relay, sprint, and mass start races. In the relay, she hit 6 out of 10 targets as the second person on her team. In the mass start, she hit 4 of the targets and finished eighth in her wave. Congratulations, Amelie. That's a ninth grader. Nice work. Varsity softball beat South Burlington, pulling ahead for good in the 8th inning. Sophie Vignac went 2 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. Micaiah Bowman went 2 for 4 with an RBI, and Kyra Nelson went 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. Emerson Mitchell and Cassidy Kittredge combined for a strong effort in the circle, with Kittredge picking up her second win of the year. The JV team also beat South Burlington, with every member of the team contributing to the win. Nice job, softball. And finally, girls tennis played exceptionally against CVU at home on Monday. And the match score doesn't represent the hard-fought battle and dedication of our student athletes, but that is a success in our eyes. Good job, girls varsity tennis. So good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. For those who celebrate it, happy Passover, which started this past weekend. A belated happy Eid al-Fitr for those who celebrated that Muslim holiday, and a happy Easter this coming Sunday to those who celebrate that Christian holiday. So we have a guest this morning, and I have 2 things that I want to do. And the first is this. So we're a few days away from spring break, and it's been a pretty hard winter. And I just love that our faculty and staff dressed like tropical tourists today, and they're taking us into the break with some joy and some fun. When we return from the break, I hope that we can work to make the last 5 weeks that will be remaining in the school year the strongest of all. So I want to consider together this morning what that might look like. So let's take a few minutes right here to do 2 things. First, if you're not already doing it, which most of you are doing it, could you please sit up? That's good. And look up. There's a reason that they tell you to keep your chin up. It actually makes you feel better. So look up. Now, advisors, keeping in mind that you yourself may be wearing socks with sandals and something a little goofy, and that this is more than okay, could you please take a gander at your advisories and take stock of what you see in terms of dress code? Does anyone have an actual mustache? Okay. Thank you. So honest. Thank you so much. Or green hair? Anyone have a little green in their hair? Oh, there's someone up there. Excellent. Okay. Does anyone have hair that's not out of their eyes? Want to look up, get it out of your eye? Yeah, nice. Yes. I noticed that this morning. Okay. If you have a t-shirt and not a dress shirt under that hoodie, you need to get a shirt on. If you don't have one, Student Life will happily get you one. And remember that the hoodie is supposed to be outerwear, so take it off when you're indoors. And if you need a jacket or warmer dress clothes, again, thank you, you're being so great. Again, you can get those from Student Life. If you have facial hair, please head to Tinker and get a razor and shave. That's one way it will look for us to spend our final weeks after spring break being strong and taking pride in participating in a culture that respects you enough to insist that you dress for this endeavor. So thank you for that. Now, I will have a story to send you off with in a moment, but before that, I am very glad and grateful that your fellow student, Ace Irwin, Junior Ace Irwin, is here to share a valuable perspective with you. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Hi, I'm Ace. We live in a society where it is becoming unsafe to be queer, unsafe to be trans, unsafe to be true to yourself. 821 anti-trans bills have been proposed nationwide, with 244 of those targeting education and 105 of targeting sports. The need for schools to be a safe place for trans youth is even greater now because of this. We are lucky to have amazing teachers, administrators, and staff here who support and respect everyone, including those in the queer community. This is not the case around the country. In fact, this year, Vermont is the only state that has no anti-trans legislation that has either been proposed or passed nationwide. So to say we live in a bubble would be an understatement. I first realized I was transgender when I was 12. I knew I was different from my peers, not only because I was trans, but because everyone had differences then. Yet it felt like what made me different wasn't the same as my friends. When I changed my name in high school, I realized that being transgender would make school different. The constant correcting of people and the genuine fear that I would hear my legal name. Even today, whenever attendance is taken, I hope I will hear my name, not the name I grew up with. Using a transgender student's chosen name is one of the simplest yet most impactful ways to affirm their identity. The schools, like ours, that have committed to using chosen names send a message that every student is valid, valued, and worthy of respect. This isn't about keeping things simple or following procedures by calling students their legal name because it's easier. It's about the power a name holds for transgender students. Unfortunately, some schools inadvertently out students to their families by using chosen names or pronouns in conversation. In fact, across 14 states, more than 25 proposals have been introduced that require teachers to inform parents of any changes to their students' gender identity. This can place students in uncomfortable or even unsafe situations that they are not prepared for. While some may argue that using correct names and pronouns requires additional effort and can take too much work to change, the impact on the student's well-being far outweighs any challenges that come with making this switch. Respecting a student's name not only helps maintain their privacy, but in some cases, their safety. This one small act creates a safer, more supportive school environment, allowing students to navigate their identity on their terms in a safe space. School can be challenging. We all know this, but there are more challenges for trans youth, aspects that might be taken for granted, like sports. In the 23 to 24 school year, 8 million high school students played a school sport. And yet, there is almost no research on the number of transgender student athletes, and any research that exists only exists at the collegiate level. Participation in school sports helps students develop valuable skills. Allowing transgender students to join teams that reflect their gender identity is crucial for them to fully reap the benefits of sports. There are arguments that transgender athletes might have unfair advantages or disadvantages in gender-segregated sports. Additionally, transgender students often encounter barriers to inclusion due to exclusionary policies and misconceptions about their presence on teams. Excluding these athletes doesn't promote fairness. It may address short-term concerns, but in the long run, it isolates them from their community and can show that they aren't supported. Even if there are no policies or misconceptions, advantages or disadvantages, there can be an inherent sense of discomfort that comes with being transgender on sports teams, a discomfort I know all too well. I knew that being transgender would make school different for me was when I was the only person on my sports team, trans person on my sports team. I didn't want this to get in the way of what I loved, but it did. I became uncomfortable on teams, not because of the people, but because I was trans and they weren't. I've watched other trans youth choose not to play sports because of this. In our school right now, I am one of very few transgender student athletes. Transgender youth face daily challenges within themselves and their community. There might not be a quick fix way to change that, but there are ways to help. The support and respect you show will go further than you can know, especially now when there is so much uncertainty in our nation. I am just one voice with one perspective, but if you take anything away from my speech, let it be this. Being transgender does not make someone alien from you. It may make them different, but differences are a part of human nature. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ace. I'm grateful for the reminder of the precious value of each person in our community and our society, and of our connectedness and responsibility for one another. And I think I have a story that also touches on this theme. So a couple of weeks ago, I was in Chicago visiting a company that was founded by a St. Johnsbury Academy graduate. The company's mission is healthcare, and the people showing us around that day were very conscious of the importance of the founder's moral philosophy. It still holds sway and informs their work. So this alum essentially began the practice of modern pharmacy in the United States. And as we toured a part of the company's campus that honored the founder, this St. Johnsbury Academy graduate, who started out on a farm in Vermont and did St. Johnsbury Academy in 2 years, and built this world-changing enterprise, as we walked around, we came to a garden. They told us that in the spring, this garden was planted with medicinal plants, which we thought was very cool. In the middle of this garden, there was a bronze statue that I did not immediately understand. It was a figure of a boy who was in the act of throwing what looked like a star, as you would throw a frisbee. I was sort of at a loss, so I asked one of our hosts what was going on with this sculpture. He said it was called the Star Thrower, and it was inspired by a mid-20th century story that has the feel of a folk tale. The tale goes that a boy goes walking on a beach and discovers what seem like countless starfish who have been washed up and stranded on the beach. And with the tide going out, he knows that they're not going to survive. So he starts to pick them up, one by one, and throw them back into the ocean and back to safety. He's doing this, and as he's doing this, an older man walks by and says to the boy, "What are you doing? Look at how many starfish there are on this beach. It goes for miles. There's no way that you can save all of them." And the boy picks up a starfish and says, "Maybe not, but I can save this one." And he tosses it into the sea. That is a moral philosophy. That is a way that SJA has impacted the world, and that is how we can face the world and make it better, however we can, human by human, and good deed by good deed. Thank you. Have a strong couple of days and a great break. Faculty.